We dedicate.
What up, people? What's good? Salute.
Yes, sir.
Yo, what's good, everybody? Salute to the tribe. We're hip hop and comics and hip hop. We're a niche channel. And reserved for the best is Super Dope. I do sell comics. Check me out on Instagram at 6th_element_comic. We do live auctions, live claim sales. I rock with Tooth and Claw, hit animated television series. Scotty Young joint, blowing up fast. X23. So this is dope, man. All right, so this is beautiful. All right, y'all, it's beautiful day here. It is DC Day on this lovely Saturday, and we got my man Stu Dog with us. My name is Reno Noir. This is the sixth element of hip hop. And just wanted to let's do a little quick breakdown for some people that were new, and they asked me, you know, what's this sixth element thing all about? Like, why do we call it the sixth element of hip hop? And you know, just a quick shout out Corey Adger in the chat. What's good, my brother? Just a quick recap for the new viewers and whatnot. Sixth element is simple. You know, hip hop has 5 main elements, right? DJing, MCing, breakdancing, graffiti, and fashion or knowledge, depending on who you ask.
The sixth. What about beatbox?
What happened?
About
beatboxing?
Yeah.
I mean, that's not technically one of the 5 elements. It's DJing, MCing, b-boy, breakdancing, graffiti, and fashion. Now you could throw beatboxing, but that's kind of like,
can we like tag it on, like say MC and a beatbox? They both talent. There's talent. It's a talent.
You could throw beatboxing in with DJing. That could be part of producer, DJ, beatboxer, beat maker. He's making beats.
Okay, look, we can name some beatboxes. We had Buff, Dougie Fresh.
Let me just tell them what the sixth element means.
Okay.
And we'll get back to that because you have a valid point. All right, so the sixth element is comic books. Comic books are the sixth element of hip hop, the unsung, unknown, unspoken sixth element to hip hop, because hip hop has been wildly, crazily inspired by comics. It's undeniable since the beginning. Since, you know, Kool Herc was doing park jams, all the way up to, you know, Wu-Tang Clan with names like Iron Man, Johnny Storm, and all of that, or Johnny Blaze and all of that. But you know, swinging through your town like your neighborhood spotter, man. It's permeated through hip hop, and now that the hip hop era people are grown up, you know, we're adults now. Now the writers and artists in comic books are hip hop heads, because it's the first time in history that hip hop fans are adults. Because when we were kids, adults, they hip hop wasn't around, so they were into R&B and, you know, soul, jazz, rock and roll. There were no grown up hip hop heads when it started. So this is
no, there were none. Yeah, you're right.
This is like a new time in history. I feel like it reminds me of that movie Strange Days with Angela Bassett, and I think I said this in my very first video. There was a scene where the guy walks in the bar, and like there's other guy sitting at the bar, and they're, you know, he's looking at this video about this rapper named Jericho One as in the movie, but it was showing like these older middle-aged white men were like hardcore hip-hop fans. And back when Strange Days came out, that was funny. It was weird because you never saw that, and it was like saying that in the future, hip-hop fans, when they, you know what I mean, adults are going to be hip-hop fans. So But yeah, that's kind of where we are now. And so there's hip hop in comics. Like I was reading Harbinger one day and I saw someone, a character quoting a Nas rhyme from Illmatic, like word for word. And I'm like, where do I know? Oh yeah, this is Nas. And I'm like, wow. So there's hip hop in comics. We know there's comics in hip hop. So I wanted to start a channel called The Sixth Element of Hip Hop because comics are that sixth element of hip hop. So I wanted to break that down. I had a couple people ask me recently what that was all about. So getting that out of the way, now we want to debate beatboxing. Is beatboxing a element? There are beatboxers, but it wasn't really an element that continued on as being an integral part of hip hop. Not a lot
Well,
of
because
beatboxing, but I
you had
feel
people that just less talent. You had people that wasn't talented enough to do it.
look, big
Mhm.
shout out to rest in peace, Biz Marquis, the master, and then of course Dougie Fresh. I mean,
Rest in peace
just
to Buff,
on.
who was the human beatbox.
Word up.
And then we got what's the name of the Roots? Their beatbox.
Will
Uh,
Questlove?
nah, they have a beatbox. I forget his name. Oh man, he did a song with damn my other talent is dead. He did with Old Dirty. He did a song with what is his name? It's on the tip of my tongue. I can't remember his name. He's from
I
Philly.
don't really.
Hang on, man. Hang on.
You're not talking about Black Thought. I mean, Philly, the Roots
No,
is
not
from
Black
Philly.
Thought. Hang on. I got you, man. Hang on. I got you. His
Quick
name
Google
is
search.
I'm doing it now.
But yeah, beatboxing, it's it's definitely a part of hip hop. It was definitely, big in the 80s. The Fat Boys, like all of that. That was, it was big. I don't know why it's not listed among. I mean, nowadays you can Google the 5 elements of hip hop and you'll get MC, DJ, graffiti, breakdance, and then either fashion or knowledge. I've seen both, and I definitely see the merits of both. For me, it's always been fashion because hip hop has its own unique dress style. Always has, always will. Very, very original, very different from any other culture. And so I think fashion is a big part of hip hop, always has been. So I would definitely give it to fashion. Knowledge being more Corey Adler, shout out Corey Adler. He said Rozelle from the Roots.
Razel. Thank you.
I believe
Thank
who
you,
you
Corey Adger. Thank
looking
you.
for.
That's
Your
Raziel.
camera has
Thank
froze
you.
up, Stu.
Oh, it did. I'm sorry, but I'm fixing that problem
It's
right
froze.
now. Raziel.
Rozelle, yeah. Shout
Yes,
out to
Raziel. Yeah, Raziel was a dope beatbox. I mean, he
right,
went from now he is actually what you can call a new era beatbox because he wasn't out in the 80s. He
right,
definitely wasn't. He came out like I say 90, the late 90s, and into like Obama era. And
right.
he was still and he still beatbox. I mean, you can't. It's just you gotta have the talent to do that, man. Gotta
Oh,
have
sure.
talent to do
Yeah,
that,
you
man.
can.
And that's one thing this generation is lacking. Not to be disrespectful
Yeah, can.
or to go against them, but they don't have no talent, no creativity. Everybody wants to computerize beat. Everybody wants to do what everybody else do.
And we,
But
we don't
that's
mean
what made
all the young generation, just the majority of the mainstream
right. Well, we mean
rap
that, and
pop.
like I said, and what
It's
we
a lot
really
of
trying to say,
talented cats, young
right,
cats
and
for
what we
sure.
really trying to say is do your thing.
Do
Don't
your
worry
thing.
about what nobody else do. Do your thing.
Be original.
Do what you want to do. Make your music the way you want to make your music. Don't make your music the way somebody else's music. Because like when you talk to every MC, every group, everybody that came out from day one of hip hop, what did they say? We heard such and such and such and such. We wanted to be like them, and then we did
Mhm.
this and that.
Yeah. My
It don't
biggest
mean they wanted
gripe,
to be like them as far as music. They wanted to be like them as far as fame and get
yeah,
their name out there.
right.
Because all of the
They didn't
groups are different, man. We got different sound. Hip hop has
in our era,
mad
you had
flavors.
to be different. You had to be unique. That was what it was all about. If you was copying or biting something, that was called biting. Like that was not
Right.
hip.
We didn't put up with that. Right. We
But
didn't put up with that
nowadays, my
back in the day.
biggest gripe with the modern so-called hip hop is that they literally try to sound like each other. They have the
Yes.
same little ad libs. They have the same little style. There, I mean, the auto tune already makes you all sound alike, and it's just they all try to do the same little style, little cadence. I mean, it's just the opposite of what hip hop was about, which was originality. Shout out Ace Johns in the building. Howard Johnson's what up? But yeah, you know, it was all about originality. That's what I mean. That was like that was that could be, you know, that could almost be an element of hip hop is originality. I mean, that was what it was all about.
You had to
But
be original.
you had to.
Remember Carol Rest said, you got to have style. Learn to be original, or everybody's gonna want to dish you.
Yeah.
Like me, we stood up for the South
Yeah.
Bronx. And every sucker MC had a response. You
Word
think we
up.
care? I know that they are on the tip. My posse from the Bronx is lit.
Lit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, but I don't know. You get the same like 5 elements of hip hop again. You can Google it. You know, we've all heard it. It really started, it was like 4 elements. They were like, you know, DJing, MCing,
DJing,
breakdancing,
breakdancing,
and graffiti.
yeah, and graffiti, yeah.
But then, like, definitely they added knowledge or fashion. I think it's fashion. Some people say knowledge. And then
You
when they
gotta
say
have
knowledge,
fashion. Yeah, you gotta
it
have fashion in
gotta be
hip
fat
hop. You
because
gotta have
hip hop
knowledge.
has its own fashion. It's got its own style. It's a very
So
unique, very
so that's
distinct
my point, you know.
hip
So
hop
we can say,
style.
all right, we can say fashion and knowledge. We can say MCing and beatboxing.
Sure. Definitely. But the 6th element is comics. That's
Six
undisputed.
element, that's comics.
That's
Yeah, that is
undisputed.
comics.
That's
That is
what
comics.
it is. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's what the 6th element of hip hop is all about. 6th element. That's what we're talking about when we say that. It's a reference to both hip hop and comics. And like our Monday show is called Hip Hop and Comics. Our Wednesday show is called Indie Hip Hop and Comics. And then Saturday, of course, right now we're doing DC Day. Not a big hip hop thing, but we still 6 elements, so we can still talk hip hop at any given time. Shout out to Apists. How do you say this guy's name? Apists Bin Sinin. I don't want to butcher his name. It seems like it's. But he says, "Hello, Reno and Stu. What T-shirt does Stu wear now with full screen? Looks like Batman. Looks like
Yeah, Stu got
Batman.
on Booyah. Stu got on the Batman joint.
There it is.
Booyah. With all
Oh,
the
it's like,
different iterations of Batman.
yeah, all the Batmans. Look, there's an old Batman with a long beard. You got Mummy Batman, Skeleton Batman. Looks like, I don't know.
You got Batman in his very first costume with the purple gloves, the
Right.
black and the gray with the purple gloves. You got all of them.
Yeah.
Batman in the suit. We got them all. We got all the Batmans.
The striped Batman there.
Yeah. We doing it all. We doing it all on Batman on
Yeah.
DC Day. On
Yeah.
DC Day, we knock it out.
This is my
We knock it out.
biggie. That's whether the what do you call that? Maybe it's like an Andy Warhol, I guess, is the pop art modern biggie. I call.
You know what, that shirt right there, that's actually a painting. That's a famous painting. I don't know who painted it,
Yeah, no, that's
but
the
you see
Andy
it all
Warhol
over.
painting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you see
Andy
it all
Warhol
over.
painting.
He
Yeah,
does
that joint
these,
is.
and
Yeah,
they recreate them with new faces. You know, I think he originally did Marilyn Monroe or something like that. But there's been they
right. Nah,
recreated with
Biggie
every.
was a smart move. I'm trying to get one. I want to get one for my man cave, man. You know,
Hell yeah,
put it up.
absolutely.
Actually, I want to put it in my living room. I'll hang that in my living room.
Damn right, absolutely, all
Yeah.
day long.
But you're right about 6 elements of hip hop, man. Remember we just had a comic not too long ago where Deadpool was a Deadpool issue. There was like Deadpool 17 or something like. He wanted to recruit the whole Wu-Tang Clan to help him save Staten Island because Staten Island was being attacked
Yeah,
by
yeah,
a giant monster that had got taken over by the King in Black.
right.
So he had this fantastic idea where he was like, I get the whole Wu-Tang Clan and we're gonna go save Staten Island. But
Yep.
then the people that he had with him kind of talked him out. They talked him out of it because they was like, whoa, wait. They was like, listen, if they die, you are going to be held solely responsible for killing off the greatest rap group that has ever graced the pages of
Ever.
anything that ever just did ever. And they was like, do
Mhm.
you want to be known as that person? So then he starts thinking about it. And he's like, well, maybe you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't have the Wu-Tang Clan die. And he's
Right.
like, and I do like, and then he's saying their rhymes. They're singing shame on a nigga. They're singing He's singing that.
Mhm.
He's singing Wu-Tang Clan, ain't nothing to F with.
Yeah.
He's just saying different. He's just chanting different hooks from
Mhm.
different Wu-Tang songs. And
Yeah.
then he just was like, all right, I got to put together a new team. So then he puts together a new team and they go fight the monster. And that's how
Yeah.
the comic ended.
Yet another example of hip hop in comics. Because we know, like it's like I said, we talked about it's definitely comics and hip hop, and there's definitely hip hop in comics. But this is DC Day, and segueing over from Marvel to DC, DC was one of the first comic book Batman rather was one of the first comic book heroes period, quickly becoming one of the most popular superheroes. Batman is recognized around the globe as the Dark Knight of Gotham City. Of course, with every successful work of art comes multiple waves of imitators, and Batman is no different. There's been a number of characters over the years who have been directly inspired by Batman, whether it's their, his tragic origins or his unique drive for justice or the use of all the gadgets or, his dark, his nighttime, vigilantism. But Marvel in particular has quite a few different characters that have taken inspiration from the Dark Knight. Here is a list of 10. The Black Fox was a spy during World War II who became a secret costumed hero. That was John Byrne and Roger Stern introduced a forgotten group of Marvel heroes in the Marvel Lost Generation, which included a hero known as the Black Fox. Robert Payne was a spy during World War II and decided to use his skills to become a costume crime fighter after the end of the
Mm.
war. Yeah, and he looks he looks like Batman, there's no question, without the ears maybe, but he was more of a lighthearted, initially, though, after, he was forced to watch his girlfriend's brutal death, he created a new, darker costume and adopted, the grimmer personality that Batman fans would absolutely, undoubtedly recognize. The Black Fox died in the final mission to stop a Skrull invasion a couple of decades after he first debuted. Shout out DJ Blink in the chat. Peace, peace.
DJ Blank. Salute.
So yeah, a lot of Marvel heroes definitely inspired by Batman. And of course, the obvious, I think, Moon Knight. But number 9 we're gonna go to is Nighthawk, which direct
Yeah. Nighthawk is directly a play on
absolutely.
Batman. One hundred
Member
percent.
He's a member of the Justice League pastiche called the Squadron Supreme, and that's was heavily was in the Heroes Reborn recent Heroes Reborn run from Marvel, and yeah, he looks just like Batman. I mean, the Squadron Supreme was a team of superheroes from an alternate reality who was created by Roy Thomas and John Buscema. They were based on DC's long-established super team, the Justice League. Literally, there's a character for each character. The character Nighthawk was actually Kyle Richmond, who decided to create his costumed identity to do good with the dirty money he had inherited from his deceased father. Another version of Kyle Richmond from the Marvel Universe was manipulated into Nighthawk as a member of the villainous Squadron Sinister, though he later joined with the Defenders and other teams as a rich hero whose powers were stronger at night. So very much a Batman ripoff. But number 8, a little more well known, is Night Thrasher, and we've seen
Yes.
him. We've seen
Yeah, we
him.
have, man. I
He's an
used to like
orphan.
Thrasher, man. I used to
Used to
like
what?
those joints back in the day, man.
Oh
I
yeah,
used to like Night Thrasher back in the day.
yeah.
But
He was on a lot
he
of
is a straight ripoff.
Yeah, I mean, he's more of like even like a Nightwing to me because he's got the sticks. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
no cape,
He's
so he's kind of
he's like because he's like a good mix between Batman. Like he acts and talks like Batman, but he does
right.
everything else like Nightwing.
Yeah,
So like he fights like Nightwing. He has the two sticks, but
yeah.
he has the persona. So it's like taking Batman and putting him in Dick Grayson's body.
Right, right. And Marvel introduced a number of new heroes in the '90s that had that sort of darker edge to fit the decade. The style, and of course that included Dwayne Taylor, who wore an armored costume as Night Thrasher, which included high-tech weaponry as well as a skateboard to really hit the '90s vibe there. But shout out Diamond Onyx in the chat. Go smash that like button with Diamond Man. That's definite way to sign in. But as a young child, Dwayne Taylor saw his parents murdered in front of him, just like Batman. and he vowed to use his family's fortune to avenge his parents' loss, just like Bruce Wayne and Batman. He was well trained and had a large pool of resources that helped him from the 90s team known as the New Warriors and eventually discover the truth about his parents' murder. So definite Batman. Now, number 7 is going to be Moon Knight, which they
Yeah,
often call
yeah.
Marvel's Batman. He's a gadget using vigilante.
Yes,
Uh,
he is.
and yeah, he's often been known as Marvel's
And
Batman.
he has issues, just like Batman. He has
Yeah,
issues.
he's got issues.
Now
He's
the
definitely
difference
got issues.
between him and Batman is where Batman is more disciplined mentally and has his persona under control, Moon Knight doesn't.
Right.
So in that correlation, he's an opposite to Batman, but the same. But he's their version of Batman of what if we had a Batman that just didn't have as much mental control as he does,
Right,
and
right.
that's
Because
what Moon Knight represents.
of course, Moon Knight is a vastly different character who spent years after his time in the service as a mercenary before he was killed and resurrected by the moon god named Khonshu. Moon Knight also uses his split personalities to assist him in his fights against crime, limiting the similarities to Batman when you look past things like his moon copter and stuff like that. He's got a lot. The instead of bats, they're moons. He's got his little shurikens, his little batarangs with their little moonarangs or
Yeah, you
whatever.
got Moonarangs, yeah.
He's like white.
Mhm.
He's like all white, whereas Batman was
Right.
all
It's
black.
all black.
So
Right.
he's kind of like the counterpart. You know what I mean?
Resident, yeah.
Now, I was this one kind of surprised me, but number 6 on this list is Wolverine. Now he says
Mm.
Wolverine, he shares a similar rough personality and samurai code with Batman. Now that's true. While Wolverine wasn't directly inspired by Batman, they do share a number of similarities, which include their rough personality, the years of very similar type training, and Wolverine has a history as a samurai that mirrors Bruce Wayne's own martial arts training that he undertook in order to take on the role of Batman. Even Wolverine's mask seems to take inspiration from Batman's pointy-eared cowl, and his frequent mentor status calls back to Batman's relationship with his Robins over the years. But it's funny because if you look at Wolverine's mask in some iterations, it's like two Batmans facing each other, right? He's got his mask. Check it out. Next time you look at it, you see his mask and the black part that comes up like that. Look at that as a profile of Batman, two Batmans facing each other. You won't be able to unsee it once you see it. It's crazy.
Once you see it, right.
Yeah, somebody pointed that out, and I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Like, man, I wish I could. In the meantime, I'm gonna grab y'all a photo. Y'all got to see it, but because once you see this, guys, you're gonna be like, what?
And
But
Batman is a great creation, man. You know, Batman is just it was the ultimate, like, and he has no powers. Like, that's the one thing
right,
everybody in the DC universe always goes back to with Batman. He has no superpowers whatsoever. He is not a superhuman. He is just a regular man. And he has tweaked his body to the peak performance that you could tweak a man to, his body and his mind. And he
hmm
uses that to fight crime. So he made himself a living weapon to battle crime and strike fear into the hearts of criminals. That was his whole thing.
right,
Because you got to
fear,
understand, some people talk about his parents being killed and all of that, but the whole premise behind that was how afraid he was as a child. He was frozen. He couldn't do anything. Like, he was like,
right,
man, like, they had my parents at gunpoint. My father was scared. My mother was scared. So
right,
that's what he did. I'm gonna drive the same fear into those criminals that they drive into their victims. And people
exactly.
don't, right? They don't look at that when they think of Batman. And
No,
that's Batman's biggest ploy. His superpower is to deploy fear
instill
in
fear,
whoever
and
it is.
yeah,
It just deploy it, instill it, and just put it in the criminal, whatever criminal. I don't care if you're a superpower criminal. there are
that's why
there are criminals
Scarecrow.
with powers. They're scared of them. They're afraid of
Yeah, yeah, that's why Scarecrow is such a great counterpart villain to Batman because
them.
he uses fear as a
He
as
uses
a
fear as a weapon.
now check this out. Check this out, guys. Look at this. Just draw a line down the middle of it, right down the middle of his nose, and look at each side face. It's
Oh
like
yeah, yeah,
Batman
yeah, yeah.
kissing. It's
Yeah,
like two
Batman.
Batmans
Yeah, it
kissing.
is like
It's like two
yeah.
Batmans kissing each other. It's crazy. Like you can't unsee it. Just draw a line directly down the nose, all the way down his chin, right? And then look at each eye as a profile of Batman facing each other. You
That's
can't
true.
unsee it. You can't unsee it. It's
Nah,
crazy.
you can't.
It's awesome.
Nah,
It's awesome. But yeah,
oh,
so number 5 is the Punisher. Now this is another one that I was thinking these were gonna be all, Batman lookalikes, but they're going deeper here. Number 5 is the Punisher shares a similar tragic loss that drives him to fight crime. However, they do have a clear difference in that Batman has fairly strict no killing policy, whereas the Punisher has no such compunction, and is feared throughout the Marvel universe for his capacity to violently murder the criminals he encounters. And that's something that Frank Castle is definitely known for. He will just pull the desert
yeah, he
ease
pulled the
out and
trigger.
put it on your
Yes, he
face.
will.
He
Yes,
don't care.
the Punisher will. The Punisher will peel your cap.
He will
That's
peel it. He will peel
yeah.
it.
He'll peel your cap back. That's
With the wig, he'll yes. He's not
yeah. He'll
gonna.
split your wig.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. He'll give you lead poisoning, whatever you
Mhm,
want to call it,
mhm.
however you want to do it. And Punisher's known for also torturing the criminals before he kills them, or
Yeah,
while he's killing them, and kill
violent.
them in brutal ways, in brutal, violent
The way he
ways.
looks at it is these are murderers, killers. Like he don't go after purse snatchers, right? Punisher, he goes after
The big
mafia,
guys. Yeah, he goes
organized
after the big
crime.
guys. Yeah,
So he's looking at murderers and stuff. So he definitely don't. He don't play. He don't play. He's one of the illest street level heroes in Marvel. Speaking of street level heroes in Marvel, the next number 4 is going to be Daredevil, and his evolution into a darker character was partially inspired by Batman. This is largely due to the influence of writer Frank Miller, who wrote for both Batman and
and
Daredevil,
Daredevil.
whose darker take on the character revitalized Daredevil as a brutal vigilante with a fierce dedication to protecting his neighborhood of Hell's Kitchen by almost any means necessary. While Matt Murdock, Daredevil, was originally much different than Batman and fell more in line with lighter heroes in the Marvel universe, over time began to follow more closely in the Dark Knight's darker footsteps. And that sort of persona that Frank Miller gave Daredevil based on his, what he gave Batman, he sort of passed that on to Daredevil. That sort of stuck with Daredevil. Like the current writer, Chip Zdarsky, is one of my favorite authors, and he's actually made me a Daredevil fan. Like I was never a Daredevil fan. I didn't really care for Daredevil and care about Daredevil. He was cool. Like I didn't have a
Wow,
problem with him. But I didn't care much
wow,
about Daredevil.
that's deep, man.
Yeah, because
That's
I never
deep,
read any
man.
comics. I never read any Daredevil comics.
Listen, man,
At least the
I had
ones I
a
tried to, it didn't catch me. But Chip Zdarsky's joint, and then I've gone back and read Frank Miller's joint. Like I've gone back and realized that I was missing out.
I
Daredevil.
was like you. I was the same as you. But it was, one of my childhood friends. We read comics all the time together,
Mhm.
man. And he was in the Daredevil. But he used to always tell me, he'd be like, man, you got to read Daredevil. One day he gave me a stack of his Daredevil books. And I was like, let me check them out. And I started reading them, and I was hooked. I was like, wow, Daredevil is more than I thought he was, man. Like,
Yeah,
I was literally,
yeah,
literally hooked. And
and
I
it
was like,
yeah,
man.
and it
And he
largely.
only dwells in Hell's. Yeah, he only runs around Hell's Kitchen. You don't
Mhm.
catch him anywhere else in New York too much.
Yeah,
But
that's
he's
he's
always, yeah,
street level hero. He's not your cosmic hero. He's not a magic hero. He doesn't have like major superpowers. He's just a dude that stalks the streets at night and whoops ass with his batons.
he
He's
only have
deaf.
one. He
I
only
mean,
has
he's
one.
blind rather, but
But he
sort
has
of
heightened senses.
it's heightened senses now. So now sound is his sight. So any little tiny sound will let him see everything.
It's
Uh,
like
sharper
echolocation
than
is the best thing we can get to is what he uses.
which I was getting at is a bat quality.
Exactly.
See what I'm saying? 360
Exactly. And he comes
comes
out at
all around
night.
and comes
And he
out at
comes.
night.
Yeah. And he's territorial, just
The
like
freaks come
Bat.
out at night. Yeah, Batman
Yeah.
rocks Gotham
Yeah.
and Daredevil
Because one
rocks.
of the things you got to remember about Daredevil was he always said that nobody cared about Hell's Kitchen,
Right.
and that like you got all these superheroes running around New York, doing their thing, taking out crime, fighting crime everywhere, but nobody comes down to Hell's Kitchen.
And it was like that in
And
the 80s too. Like
yeah,
with mobsters and just people like Hell's Kitchen was when it was the borough or the neighborhood that nobody talked about. Like everybody talked about Brooklyn and Queens and Staten. Even Staten got more love than Hell's Kitchen. Hell's Kitchen was just a poor Irish neighborhood at the time, and nobody cared about it. And that's
nobody
kind
cared
of
about it,
got the
and
Murdoch
that
name.
was all. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was his thing. Like he said, I give a damn, and he would always say that I'm the only one that gives a damn about Hell's Kitchen. Because something would
or
go down, a murder, and no superheroes would come in Hell's Kitchen unless it was something that led him there. But he looks at Hell's Kitchen like he tells every suit, that's my territory. You
right.
come into Hell's Kitchen, you better come check with me first.
Better check in, man. Shout out to Jim Me in the chat.
Jimmy, yeah,
Jim Me, he's a German MC,
and
dope
he's like
lyrics,
Batman, and he's like Batman.
and
He's another person that's like
he's
Batman.
right, another character inspired by Batman. He says, "Nice to see you guys. I'm making music and wanted to have a look at least once. I'll go on. Y'all have fun, stay healthy, and have a good time." Jimmy has never seen our DC Day show. Is our new Saturday live show. But definitely salute to everybody, all the people that are in the chat right now. Big shout out to everybody that has left the chat, and those who are just watching maybe can't chat or don't want to. That's cool. But if you can, man, if you can chime in, we love to converse with the chat. So if anybody has any comments or you know what I mean, anything. In fact, you know what else I could do? Wait, boom. I don't do this enough. When messages are chatted, I need to be putting them up here more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, put them up, put them up. So put your questions up. Ask your questions, put them up. We'll
Ask your
answer 'em.
questions, y'all.
Yeah, we'll
I
put them
mean,
up and we'll answer.
like boom. Shout out
Yeah,
Diamond
too.
Onyx. Yeah, and this was the guy's name I couldn't read. Apist, Apist,
Vincent,
Apist.
Vincent.
Bensinnen is that's easy, but that first word is really
I
hard.
think it's Apistes Benson. Benson.
Apistes,
Apistes
Apistes.
Benson.
Yeah, that works. Bensinnen, yeah. Well, shout out to you, sir. He comes in
Benson.
like
I know
every
the
show.
last part is Benson.
Yeah.
Apites. That's a play on something.
Well, I know Ben
Apites.
Sinan is gonna be like Bin Laden, like that's a like a Saudi
Right.
Arabian name or Arabic name. I don't know Saudi Arabian, but
Or
Arabic.
maybe he been sinning. Like he's a sinner.
This is possible. This is possible. Uh, but shout out to him anyway because he's in a lot of our shows and always asks to see our t-shirts. So
Yeah. Well, we wear them just for you guys, man. We try to make it happen.
word
And we
up,
try to stay dedicated.
word up. And Corey Adger was
Yeah,
talking
Ready Rock.
about
Now I'll tell
beatboxing.
you what, he's right about Rock Racy. Ready Rock C. That was Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince's
Mm-hmm.
beatbox, man. And he was the one I remember they did a show, and Jazzy Jeff did like a whole montage in the show where he just was debuting his beatbox, and
Right.
he was having them do these different beats. He was rhyming over them, and then he was like, do the Sanford and Son beat, and then he did it, and then he was like, do it underwater. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then he did it underwater. He did it underwater, and it's a classic. You could probably punch it up on YouTube or somebody either filmed it or tape, but it is one of the
Yeah.
better known live because we didn't have YouTube back then. So radio stations would play it. They would play it back. We listened to the whole concert. If you couldn't make the concert, but that was a well known
Yeah.
concert where he just, Rock C got up there and he
Mm-hmm.
just beatboxes behind off. You gotta give shout out to them guys, man. They put in their work.
Absolutely. Any aspect of hip hop, man, is my culture, bro. Like hip hop is a culture. It's not a race. It's not a age group. It's a culture in itself.
And that's why we need to get back to DJing, MCing, you know what I mean? Dancing that we hip hop, man, because like,
Absolutely.
graffiti. You know what I mean? We need to get back to that. That's the roots. That's where it started, man. I miss DJs making mixtapes, putting them out. promoting the artist's music.
I mean,
Stuff,
yeah, it
stuff of
goes
that.
back to like remember pause tapes? That was the shit. Pause tapes. We would listen to the radio and have have a
Oh yeah, it's,
blank tape in the tape
that's
deck,
what y'all
right? And
call them pause. Y'all call them pause
yeah,
tapes.
that's you pause and you record, pause, you record. And yeah, we used to make our own little mixtapes, pause
Yeah,
tapes.
we did.
But
Yeah,
yeah.
and DJ
So,
Clue started looking us out. Clue
you
started
know what I
looking
mean?
us out, dropping Clue tapes. So
Mm-hmm.
we went from pause tapes to Clue tapes.
Do you
Think
think
we'll
we'll
ever
ever
see a
see a
live
live
action?
action The Killing Joke? I would
At
love
the
to,
theaters, it would
but
be
I
a
don't
good
think it.
idea, but no, I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I don't
But
think so.
Howard Johnson, started go for start a Kickstarter project, man, to get the money together to get it done.
There it is. Yeah, man. There it is.
Yeah,
Start a
I mean,
Kickstarter.
Killing Joke was a good. It was a good story, bro. Like I like it, and I understand why you want to see something like that. Do we have a favorite DC character? Yeah, yeah, I got plenty. I got plenty. One of them is Batman. Yeah, one of them is Batman. Batman is one of my favorite
Yeah, I
DC
mean
characters.
that's easy for me. It's Batman. Um,
I also like the Flash. I'm also really big on Flash too. Also like everything how Flash is set up and the story, his powers. I always was a big fan of
right,
Flash. Yeah,
right. Yeah, Flash was cool to me too. Like especially in the '80s. Like I always dug Flash. Um, Green Lantern was dope to me.
Green Lantern was dope. Yeah. Then when Milestone came out and joined the DC, I was big and heavy into the Milestone heroes.
Yeah, Icon,
Static,
Rocket, and
Icon, Rocket,
Hardware.
Hardware, Blood
Yeah,
Syndicate. I was heavy into them.
yeah.
Um,
And they're making a big comeback now. So
yeah, that's true. And
yeah, they're
I was
making a
also a
big.
big fan of Constantine. I always liked Constantine and Dr. Manhattan. I thought Dr. Manhattan was dope. But one of my favorite characters I like is Owlman. When it comes to the villains, I always thought Owlman was dope. Right? But he just never got the credit he needed. So yeah. Shout out to Owlman. The Crime Syndicate. Yeah, yeah. See, Static was dope, man. And it was new. Static was new and fresh. That's why we all gravitated towards it. That
Mm-hmm.
cover is dope. I like that cover. That's some dope cover. That's some dope cover.
Because this is the classic. That's the classic, Static from back in the day, right here. Wait, right here.
Right.
And then they got the new version and all of that. But yeah, it's making a big comeback, Milestone.
Now, what I would like to see Howard
Yeah,
Johnson
Owlman was dope.
is I would like to see a live action
Cat-
Static movie. That would be great because we need that. I think that DC has really burnt the candle on both ends when it comes to their characters and their cinematic universe. So I think that oh, you got Catman. Where the hell did you get a
Y'all
Catman,
know
bro?
what y'all know about Catman, B.
Yeah,
This is some
yeah.
DC right
Shout
here.
out
This
to
is some
James
DC.
Johnson. Yeah, we had him in here
This
the
some,
other day. He probably would have went crazy if he saw that.
yeah, shout out, man. Yeah, and for y'all don't know, that's Catman. That's a real DC character that was clearly inspired by Batman.
Yes, he was. But yeah, I would like to see Howard Johnson. I would like to see a Static movie. I really because I think DC's burnt the candle at both ends when it comes to the heroes. Like we've always had Batman movies, we've always had Superman movies, we've always had Wonder Woman movies, TV shows, all that. The thing that makes Marvel so unique is we never had that from Marvel. We had a Spider-Man
Right.
TV show, Captain America TV show, but they weren't really that great.
Never good. Yeah.
Nah, you
They
can
were
see
trash.
Spider-Man climbing up the building, and you can see the rope pulling him up, stuff like. I mean,
Yeah.
but when you were a kid, that's what we had, so we thought it was dope.
Yeah, we didn't
But
care as kids, but you look
nah,
at
we
it
didn't
now,
care. We
it's
just
not
thought it
hold
was
up.
right. But now Marvel's always had cartoons, but live action they've never had. DC's always had a lot of live action and a few cartoons here and there. But
Right.
I think that DC should just, put Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman on a shelf and give us four new heroes to just do what they got to do. There's a
Yeah.
cow man.
There's a Cowman.
There's a rope man and a diaper man and a
See now,
tornado man.
that's why that's why it took me a while to get into DC because the names, like the way they name their characters, were always very too on the nose, like very on the nose, like whatever it is, man. You know what I mean? Like it just was too. I don't know. It wasn't. So I kind of thought it was cheesy. Like I admit, like it took me a while to get into DC because all I knew about it was like Superman and the cheesy cartoon stuff, and I didn't think it was dark enough. But DC made a major turn to the dark side, in the 80s, and they've gotten very dark. Like even their movies are way darker than Marvel
They're
now.
way darker than Marvel, yeah. But DC's always been like that. That's why it was called Detective Comics. That's what DC stands for. Detective Comics. They always had darker stories, more
Starting in
stories,
the 80s, they did, yeah.
yes, more stories driven by, well, in the early days it was just more crime stories. And you had these superheroes solving crimes. Like the one thing Marvel did was the superheroes would always fight each other, but DC, the villains would commit actual crimes, like rob a bank. But
Right.
they would do it in a very slick way. And then the hero would come and figure it out.
I mean, that's how
He would show you,
Spider-Man villains always were. They would always
yeah,
rob a bank or, they were always doing, something like that.
yeah. And then they would just like B. Jordan's producing a live action static movie. Look for it in 2023.
Of course, Michael B. Jordan.
Oh wow. Oh, I definitely will. He's also
So yeah,
supposed to be doing. He's also supposed to
yeah,
be
we're
doing.
definitely been looking out.
Yeah, he's supposed to be doing Falzad too. Blue Beetle is also coming out. So like, yeah, we need that. Yeah, Angelo, we need that, man. Because like I
We
said,
do.
I think they burnt. I think I literally, and I love DC, man. I love them, but I really, literally think that they burnt the candle on both ends when it comes to those heroes. I mean, we had the Superman movies back in the '80s. They were the first two were great, and everything else was missed until we came out with the new ones in the
Yeah.
early 2000s. Batman,
The new
when they
one got me back into it.
which one, Man of Steel?
The Henry Cavill, yeah, that got me back
Yeah,
into
Man of
because I
Steel.
was
Yeah,
like, man, this is dope. Like, I love that movie. Like, it's the first Superman movie that I really, that's my shit. Like, the
yeah.
other
And it's
ones
also
were
based.
my thing.
Yeah, and it's also based, Reno, believe it or not, off of one of the more popular Superman books. It says, do you think DC
Huh?
would do well by focusing on the younger characters like Young Justice, Teen Titans? Yeah, I do. I do. Lead those way. I definitely do. 100%. 100%. Like I said, I think they're burning the candle at both ends with the big three.
Mhm.
Um, the reason what makes Marvel Cinematic Universe so great because they embrace the younger characters. The other
Right.
characters.
Yeah.
We get to see, Spider Man. We get to see, like they just did on Disney Plus. We got to see Falcon. Like
I mean, the
Falcon's a
X-Men
dope
were
hero.
actually the X-Men are teens. Like, the X-Men were kids. That was
Right? The X Men were kids, right? They were never really, yeah, they weren't adults. They were children going to
yeah, they
school.
were kids.
Xavier
Mhm.
School for Learning, yeah. So yeah, you're right. Leaders, well, I really do think they should push those younger generations. Teen Titans is dope. We need a live action
DC
movie of
DC's
Teen
heroes were
Titans.
always grown men. They were always older. They were always like middle-aged dudes. They were always
Right,
older guys. And
right.
Marvel started doing the Spider-Man and the younger characters and stuff. And but yeah, DC
Yeah,
got their Teen Titans and Young Justice and all of that good stuff. And I mean, they do that. They do their shows. They got Teen Titans show out now. That's pretty good. Young Justice. What they had the animated show that was
the
good.
anime show was banging.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
banging. Outsiders wasn't too great, so I would skip over that and go
Okay,
straight to the new show. Um,
okay.
Everything before Outsiders was phenomenal.
Mm,
And Lito, you're right because when we had Young Justice, people loved it. The only reason why they killed that show was because of the toy line.
right.
They made a deal as long as the toys were selling, they could keep making the cartoon. But people loved the cartoon, hit toys, so they weren't buying the toys, but they were actually literally watching the cartoon. They
Yeah.
were they were watching it, they were enjoying it, and they canceled the show because of it. And we the fans had to suffer. Can't watch Young Justice. Why? Because we didn't go buy the toys. They wanted us to buy toys that we didn't like.
That we didn't like. They weren't good. What you gonna do?
No,
Speaking of toys
no.
that weren't good, man, I was just in Target, not to get off subject, but the Eternals figures
Hmm.
full to the rack. Like, usually when Marvel, Legends come out, they're gone. Like, you go in Walmart or Target, the racks are always empty because
If
the
that's
day
true.
they come out, you got people that know when they come out and stuff, and they're there. They're
Yeah.
waiting for 'em as soon as they hit, they buy them all. But, I remember when they first put the Eternals figures up in Target, and they full rack when I came in when I saw them. Went back a week later, still the full rack. Nobody's buying these things. I've never seen an action figure not sell that badly. Like every one of them, every member of the Eternals is there, and none of them are selling. It's but they're not good. They're not good figures. I mean, whether you like the movie or not, the figures ain't good. And if the toys ain't good, we not buying. I mean,
Now,
that
what do
that
you think about the DC Direct figures, the DC line figures?
you mean like the McFarlane, the DC Multiverse,
Right. Yeah,
like
I'll
the
show you.
ones
I
I
got
collect?
some. Hang on, I'll
Yeah,
show
I
you a
collect.
couple.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
collect.
collect those. I'll show you a couple. Hang on.
Yeah, there's a couple of faves right here. We got
Yeah, I got a couple of decent ones. Shout out to James Johnson because he got us really kind of, you know.
oh, okay, yeah. Now that's one of my favorite too.
Right. Do you know? And I get what you're saying about the Eternals. It took me a while to find this Robin. Like, and I mean, it took me a while, bro. Like, I literally had to order this Robin. That was the only way I could get it because I couldn't find this Robin anywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I took
See, you
him out.
got one. I couldn't find
I
one.
had to take him out.
Yeah, I couldn't find one anywhere. Yeah, I gotta take mine out too. I gotta put my other display case together.
Yeah, I got him like on. I liked how his face was looking, how his mouth was all twisted, like he was aiming at something. So
Right, like trying hard too. You know what else I
yeah,
like
that's
about
why I like
these?
figures versus statues because you can manipulate them.
Yeah. You know what else I like about these figures too, Reno, is that they come with stands. Like I thought that was
From the
dope.
fans,
Yeah, I was like, yo, these joints come with stands. Like
absolutely.
this
That's a big
Batman here, yeah, this Batman is from Detective Comics 1000. This is
yeah,
the one.
yeah. I
Yeah,
like that the big symbol in the middle of his chest.
exactly. That's why I
Yeah,
got it. It's
yeah,
the
exactly.
only reason why I picked it up because I said, "Whoa, this is from and I have this comic." I was like, "Yo, wait a minute." It's like, hold on, and I like the Batman. I just like the look, man. Like you said, the big bat in the middle of the chest. Got the grappling hook, and
Hell
he's got
yeah,
comes with a character stand. Got his
hell
cape.
yeah.
It's just dope, man. Even when you pair them together,
I
pair
liked
them
when I
together.
had Batman and Robin. What are you
You
gonna
got
do?
Batman and Robin.
What are you
Yeah,
gonna do? I
yeah.
grabbed this one too. I love the detail on it.
A Gaslight Batman or no? No, that's not Gaslight. That's
This is like gotta be some Dark Knight's metal shit. I don't know. H. Johns knows. He knows all that Dark Knight's metal stuff
no,
because
that's
he's a big fan of
hang
that
on.
stuff. He's got the
Yeah, that's
scarecrow. He's got the scarecrow sickle, but it's like got the bat wing
I've
shape on it.
seen that one. I forget which one that
No
is.
cape. He
That's
got the trench coat. Yo, this I was like, yo, this is
yeah.
official.
That's the one. Hell, he might be on my damn shirt. To be honest with you. Let me see here.
Just another one I love right
Um,
here.
That is dope. That is
That's
dope. That's from the
yeah,
movie.
that's from no, that's his that's from one of the multiverse. Like I think that's Thomas Wayne right here. And he's got all the guns. He's like the Batman who kills people. He kills motherfuckers. He don't care. This is like the
Let me
Punisher
see. Yeah,
Batman.
that is. I think that is the Punisher. Yeah, that's the Punisher version of Batman.
But it's not though. It's Thomas Wayne from another Earth. From another Earth.
I guess like I forget where Earth he's from.
Yeah.
Because I see different ones all the time, and I collect different ones. But Deathstroke, I like that. That's a hard Deathstroke.
It
Right
is.
there.
It is. Out of all the Deathstrokes, that it was the only one I really thought was really. I mean, they put hella detail into it.
Yeah. Is that a DC Direct? I mean, Rebirth?
That's a DC multiverse,
Or
same as all of
I
these.
mean,
Yeah,
Multiverse. I'm sorry. Yeah,
yeah,
Is that
same
a
as all of
Multiverse?
these.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I'm looking for a Green Lantern. That's one I'm really looking for. Like a
Oh,
Joker.
speaking of Green Lantern, they got this guy. there's a new two figure set that's out right now. Just came out, just hit Target, and it's got this guy in it. This version of Batman who's a lantern
Oh,
in
Batman is a lantern. Yeah, that was real
multiverse.
big in the early
He
two
was the
thousands.
bad guy. Yeah, this was a villain. This is
Yeah,
the villain Batman. But they've got a new figure, a new set right now, DC Universe, and it's got this guy and it's got Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, Green Lantern.
he was also a yellow lantern as well. There's a yellow lantern version of Batman.
Okay, okay. Well, this guy is from like is from this shit, the Dark Knight shit.
Ah, so that's the joke. That's the Batman who laughs.
That's the Batman who laughs right there.
Yeah, where'd you get that? That is dope.
Yeah. I got all
Mm.
these. This
I
is
want a Shazam. That's another one I want too. I want a Shazam. I
there's a
have
new
a
one
black.
out too. He's a Shazam villain, I think, or maybe it is. I don't know. He's got all burgundy on. He's got a burgundy hood. Know what I'm talking about? He's got a burgundy
He's
hood.
on.
He's a Shazam character. I don't know his name though, but he's new. He just dropped. They just put him on the shelf. I think most of us never realize how much of a big deal merchandising is with this content. Oh yeah, I mean it's
Oh
huge.
God, yes.
It's
Yeah,
everything.
worth it. She's Diamond Onyx is worth it. That's true. That's true, Lito's way because we actually got a whole TV show canceled because of it. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, you're right. We got a whole and it wasn't just any show. It was a show people liked. Like we got a whole show that people liked and loved and wanted to see canceled because of merchandise. But if you ever watch the Toys That Made Us on Netflix,
oh
a
hell yeah,
lot of the people,
hell
a
yeah,
lot of people say that in back in the day, that's how they sold toys based on TV shows and vice versa.
yeah,
You had
yeah.
a
I
TV
mean,
show,
think
it had to
about it.
have a toy. Right?
Yeah,
You had a
GI
toy, it had to have
Joe,
a TV. It had to have a TV show. Yeah.
He-Man, Transformers. Like, think about it. Transformers it's a toy first. Then they made a mythology, storyline, characters, and all of that. But the first thing was someone said, "What if we make a car that transforms into a robot?" A toy maker said that, and that's how Transformers came about. It was literally a toy first, and then they came up with all the rest of this. I might as well show the rest of these things that I got. The DC joints, Azrael.
That is
Uh,
hard. It's another Azrael. That's hard.
yeah, that's the Azrael right there with the
That's
flaming
hard.
sword.
That's
This got the
that's the modern day Azrael. Let me see both of those. One of those is let me see both your Azraels. Hold 'em up.
all right. So this one is they're both modern joints. I mean, he at one point was all black, I think, with the regular mask. But
Let me see. That one is
this is brand new. This is some sort of Batman armor. I
yeah,
don't know
that's
if
one. Yeah, that's
Azrael armor or Batman or it's
no,
Azrael.
that's Azrael. That's
Yeah.
Azrael. What happened with Azrael recently, if you haven't been keeping up, is he's kind of turned like ultra vigilante. At one point Batman had to stop him because he was like sort of like going Red Hood down that road, like the Red Hood
Yeah.
road,
Right.
and Batman had to stop him.
Yeah.
That's the thing that's going on. The night version, I forget what that's from. I know that storyline. I gotta look it up, man. I think I even had a comic, but he actually it's like, but it has nothing to do with Batman because remember Azrael had his own series for a while,
Right.
and yeah, so that's where that one's from right there.
These are
It's
dope.
something with
It's see how they look.
bruh,
We need to make a Mr. Sinister figure with this. Because this
yeah,
reminded me of
man.
Mr. Sinister's cape. You know how he got his cape, Mr. Sinister? That's what his cape is. It's a bunch of threads like that, and they stick up and then they hang down.
Yeah,
But
you
this is a
lucky you got that, man. 'Cause
perfect
I'm
material.
looking for, yeah, I'm always looking for Azrael figures like that to add to my
Well, this
collection.
one right now, this one is in store. This one you'll find in Target or Walmart rather. This one's at Walmart right now.
You might have to
The
go to
other
Walmart.
one was probably, I think, was the last shit that they did.
I might have to go on eBay and sell my soul or an appendage to get that one.
I've got yeah, that's how I'm doing with GI Joe right now. GI Joe Classified. They got some new. I just pre-ordered the Storm Shadow. Finally did the version 1 OG Storm Shadow, original, sleeveless, the cobra on his chest, the white, not off
That was
white,
dope.
white.
Oh, I gotta get.
Man,
Oh, I definitely. Where'd you order it from? Target?
GameStop right now. You can pre-order it.
Oh, I'm about to go. Yeah, I'll be there tomorrow. I'm going to GameStop tomorrow.
Crocmaster, the other one, Crocmaster, and he's got.
Rockmaster was dope.
And guess who
Yeah,
else?
big bro.
Spirit,
Oh, with Freedom
Indian
Spirit.
with
Does
the
he come with
eagle.
Freedom? Yeah, the
Yes,
Eagles called Freedom. Yeah.
yes. And that was
Oh,
Storm Shadow's nemesis. Remember, they used to get down a lot. They used to fight a lot. Him and Storm
yeah, he
Shadow.
did.
They
Yeah,
did.
because we always thought it was gonna be Snake Eyes. We always like, well, him and Snake
I
Eyes
mean,
should get
yeah,
it.
of course.
They got
But
it on in the comics.
there
Yeah, they
was an
got it on in
arc.
the comics. It was
There was an
always
arc, like a 2-episode arc between Spirit and Storm Shadow, where they
was the Weather Dominator
yes,
when they blew into three pieces and they went and got it. No, well, not the Weather Dominator. It was a machine they had. It would like I don't know, it could like warp things into. Was it the Weather Dominator? Yeah, it was
yeah,
the
with
Weather
the weather,
Dominator.
with
It was Weather
the
Dominator.
change the
Yeah.
weather, yeah, the three
Yeah,
little.
and I remember him and Storm Shadow fought over the One Piece,
Mm-hmm.
and then Storm Shadow, and then what? Spirit wound up saving his life.
Yeah, and they were
Storm
fighting
Shadow
in
let
a
him
cave,
go.
remember, and it flooded.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. And then Storm Shadow said, "You know what? I'm gonna let you roll, but next time." And they said, "He said next time we're gonna be enemies." And then Storm Shadow came and stole. He stole the piece back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was. Listen, man. Shout out to Hasbro on that one, man. When I watched that, the toys that made us, they literally said like when toys like that came out, they didn't have a. I know GI Joe. They said they didn't have a cartoon for it, but they planned one. But the one that was the most interesting one to watch was He-Man because
Yeah,
they said
yeah,
literally when they made up He-Man, they had nothing for it. They just had a
right,
toy. And
right.
they said when they went in the meeting and closed the deal, they were like, oh, they had the book. They had like a little book that came with each character. They showed that off, and they said the toy company loved it. And they were like, all right, do you guys have a cartoon? And the one guy said, I was like, yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Said that's in the works. But he said we had nothing.
but he lied.
He said
Yeah.
he lied. Yeah, he said I literally had to go make a deal that day and
Mm-hmm.
get the cartoon out. And he was like, look, listen, we had no cartoon. We had to find an animation studio. But when you look at the animation on He-Man, it's so much ahead of its time that looking at it now, the animation is still fantastic and held up throughout time. But going into the future and looking at these toys, they all need the collectibles. I'm just glad that they took that off of there. That we don't have to have a TV show or a cartoon with it, and then they can just put out a dope
Right.
collectible without it having to be tied to something.
Oh shit, nah, because I had the DC He-Man right here. Hold on.
Which one? The first series?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, He-Man was another big toy line. Still is. Went into the early 2000s, even until now, they're trying to bring it back. The problem is that they don't stick to the source material, and that's what's really killing He-Man.
That's always the problem. But this is the old joint.
Yeah, I have those.
Yeah, these are not like this is the one. This is the three issue mini right here, and that's number one. And then you got the Image Master of the Universe. This came late. This was this was like the best show. This was like the anime joint. It was fire.
Yeah, I wanted
This
to
was
see that
very
show.
good.
I never
Yeah.
watched that one. I never watched
Uh,
that show.
Shout out to Spade, man. Spadeonomics, our normal or our one of our other co-hosts for DC Day. He sent me this and the DVD for the show too.
Now you know what I liked about He-Man is
I
because all
love
right, Superman. There was a
DC.
comic.
DC right here. DC.
There's a comic where He-Man crossed over. I mean, Superman crossed over into the He-Man universe. And him and He-Man kind of went at it. And He-Man is the only one that's strong enough to lift his battle axe. So Superman goes and tries to lift it, and he can't lift it. And he's
Right.
giving it all he's got, and he can't lift it. And that was like, I thought that was so dope back then because they always make Superman out to be the greatest and strongest character in the DCU.
Yeah, but they did the Superman versus He-Man. That was big because
That was big.
everybody assumed that that He-Man that Superman would win, but He-Man was whooping that ass.
Yeah, and he is the most powerful man in the universe.
Yeah, yeah. This was probably one of my favorite. This is definitely one of my favorite Batman runs of all time because I love the way that they drew him at this time. It was very like wicked. He had the super long ears, right? The
Yeah, I
super
missed that.
long ear.
I
He
missed
was
it. Yeah, I missed the yellow chest. I missed the yellow bat
yeah,
on the chest, yellow and
and that's
black, and I
what's
missed
dope.
the yellow
And he's got
utility
the
belt. I
blue
missed
cape
that.
here in the gray suit.
Yeah, I
That's
missed
real
that suit.
dark.
Yeah, that's the one we always talk about. Yeah, I had that whole
Right,
series. I got
right.
all 19 of those. I think it's 19 of those. I got
Bane
all
right
19 of
there.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Bane. So you got the
yeah,
look how long his ears are, like longer than his head. They're huge, and I love that. I
yeah,
love that design.
yeah. I have all of those.
This artist
And
right here
those,
is crazy.
yeah,
But
those will
yeah,
never.
yeah.
Yeah, those will never leave my collection. I'm sorry.
Here's another one. There's some other new shit I just grabbed. Here's a homage to the first appearance of Bloodsport, but it's
That's dope.
Demolitia. Demolitia. That's her name. And this one is like a man, it's like a Batman zombie, I think. DC deceased.
That's hella. That's hella dope. Yeah, deceased. Yeah, that's hella dope.
Yeah.
Deceased is a good comic. I actually see that. Bring that one back. Reno, the Superman one. I actually have a signed, numbered version of that book right there.
Yeah, because these were the ones that it was like a big joke because they printed so many that they're worth nothing. They're worthless because there's literally millions. Like every collector has this. Everyone has this book. In the wrapping, they put out so many with anticipation that they completely destroyed the value. There's a black bag too. There's this white bag and then there's a black bag version. But you can get them on eBay for $5-10 all day long.
Yeah,
They're worthless. But
yeah. I've never seen the black bag. I've never seen the black bag
yeah,
version.
yeah, there's a black bag.
Yeah,
It's still
I'm gonna
not
have to
worth
get
much
one.
more. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get one of those. Yeah, because I've never seen the black bag. Like I said, I have the white one with the you know, signed and numbered and all of that, but never seen the
Mhm.
black one. I'm gonna actually get a tag and slab just for my own personal collection, just for my own personal work. The icon, that's a dope variant cover right there, bro. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
Uh,
Icon Rocket
yeah, I would
taking
have.
off.
Yeah, I would have to slab that. That would have to get slabbed in
These are the
my
A
collection.
covers. One,
Yeah, that's the
two,
one I
and
have.
three. But yeah, man. We never did finish the list of 10 characters that were
Oh,
inspired.
let's go. Let's
Let's get
finish that,
back to
man.
it.
Let's
Number
get back to
3. Number 3 is
it.
the Shroud. Wait, I don't even like this big full camera. Hold on. Number 3 is the Shroud. Spent years training to fight crime after his parents were murdered, just like Batman. He's got the dark cape and cowl. His name is Maximilian Coleridge. Was a small child when his parents were violently gunned down in front of him. And it's Batman, which sent him on a similar path to Batman's. He studied law in college and spent years training with the cult of Kali to hone his fighting skills. He was branded with a mystical connection to the dark force dimension that cost him his vision, so he's blind, but gave him new psychic sight that he used to become the crime fighter known as the Shroud. So he's like a cross between Daredevil and Batman. Unfortunately, the Shroud's mental stability degraded over the years, so now he's a cross between Daredevil, Batman, and Moon Knight. Become more of a villain than a hero in recent years. I mean, total bite, but I bet he's cool because those are 3 dope ass characters, and you put them together and you get some dope. Now, the number 2 is Hawk, Owl, and Woody, stand in as the Ultimate Universe's Batman and Robin. Uh, Clearly, like Hawk Owl looks just like Batman, and he's got the young boy sidekick. The Ultimate Universe introduced a new take on DC's Batman and Robin with a heroic team known as Hawk, Owl, and Woody that debuted in Ron Zimmerman and Duncan Fegredo's Ultimate Adventures #1. Jack Danner was a wealthy student of martial arts who traveled the world learning different styles before he returned to Chicago to create the costume and identity of Hawk Owl to fight the rising levels of crime. He soon teamed up with the young Hank Kipple as Woody after the orphan helped him take down a group of criminals, creating the Ultimate Universe's own dynamic duo.
Hawk Owl and Woody.
I never heard of him, but I haven't
Never
read.
me either. Me either. And
I haven't read much of the Ultimate. I haven't read much of the Ultimate Universe. And Marvel. Marvel's got the Ultimate Universe.
The Ultimate Universe is dope.
It's dope. Because what I've read of it is dope. Like I've read the X-Men stuff is crazy.
Now who's number one? Who takes the cake?
The Nick Fury stuff and all that. But number one takes the cake is Dark Claw, an amalgamation of Marvel's Wolverine and DC's Batman. He literally looks like when we just talked about Wolverine and Batman, and this dude looks like Wolverine with a cape, but he's got the claws. He's got the dark purple cape, but he's got the yellow and purple Wolverine type mask. It's dope. He's Marvel. The Marvel versus DC crossover event in the 90s led to the merger of two comic universes into what became known as the Amalgam Universe. And you can buy Amalgam comics. Marvel's Wolverine.
I remember Dark Claw. I do too, lead those way. Yeah, Dark Claw. Yeah.
Amalgam featured combined versions of popular Marvel and DC characters for a limited run. Marvel's Wolverine was blended with DC's Batman to become a new hero known as Dark Claw that stood out among the rest of the Amalgam roster. Definitely the coolest one out of all. I mean, come on. That's literally my favorite two characters. My favorite Marvel character and my favorite DC character together is one. So he had to take number one. While the character was closer to Logan than Bruce Wayne, Dark Claw had a blended origin, and the character had vast resources and a sidekick named Sparrow, who was a blend of Jubilee and Robin. How dope is that?
Oh, wow. That is dope.
That is dope. That is dope. So those are the 10 people, 10 Marvel characters inspired by Batman. Once again, is Dark Claw is number one, then Hawk Owl and Woody is number two, then we got the Shroud, then we go Daredevil, then we go Punisher, then we go Wolverine, then Moon Knight, then Night Thrasher, Nighthawk, and last but not least is the Black Fox. Those are the 10 Marvel Marvel characters inspired by DC's Batman. Fun little
and they're dope. And they're dope.
They're all dope.
They're dope.
But they're dope because Batman's dope. Now
that's true. That's true.
I mean, this is my favorite character. Batman is my favorite DC character easily, and one of my just favorite comic characters, period.
Right. But remember, if you can't beat him, join him.
Yeah. That's it. But you know, when somebody inspired me to do this DC Day show, we weren't doing anything like it, and somebody asked me why did I hate DC, and I said, man, I don't hate DC. Why do you think that? And they're like, yeah, you hate DC. So I'm like, here, and I show them like a whole short box full of DC comics, but it's like 99% Batman, and that's what he said. He was like, yeah, but that's Batman, it doesn't count. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, everybody likes Batman, but no one talks about DC. DC is a lot to DC. Everyone just talks about Batman. Yeah,
it really is, man.
So based on that, I said, I talked to Stu and Spade, and I said, guys, man, let's start a show called DC Day on Saturday, just so because we don't talk a lot about DC in our other shows. We just don't.
And it's not my fault.
It's not.
But if you want to, pick up the new Green Lantern series, and this is the Cooks pick of the week. We have Green Lantern number 8. It is a continuation of the story where the Green Lantern Corps. Yeah. I've been buying these. If you can get these covers, these are the homage to the trading card. So it's like a trading card cover. Right now in the Green Lantern universe, all the Green Lantern's power rings are worthless. They do nothing. The battery is dead. What's up, Comics Lounge? The battery is dead, and no Green Lanterns have power. There are only 2 rings working in the whole universe, and that's hers, which is, we actually talked about this. Remember, we talked about the gauntlet that Hal Jordan had with the backpack,
right?
That powered his ring. Well, there it is, and we have We also have Suicide Squad #9. Now listen, this is also the Cook's pick of the week. Now, I will say this. I have been following Suicide Squad, the new Suicide Squad, since the first issue, and it is a phenomenal run. They're on issue 9. You could probably get all 9 issues for about $25 right now, but they are phenomenal.
Yes, they
They were
are.
out of the they were out of the they were out of this cover, the trading card cover. So I just had to get the regular cover. But for everyone, this is the first one I just have a regular cover for. All the other
Mm,
ones I have the trading card cover.
right.
But right now, Suicide Squad is Amanda Waller has them on a suicide mission.
Mhm.
And she won't tell anybody what her agenda is. Um, but the squad is slowly figuring it out. And when they do figure it out, Amanda Waller's gonna have problems because although they do go on missions and they don't really complain, and they know what could be the outcome,
Yeah.
they're not going on a suicide mission, and that is the premise of this book. Like we'll do the mission, and we know we can die, but we're not going on a suicide mission for you. We're
Because
hanging
that's
that up.
what they typically have done. I mean, that's what they do. They're the Suicide Squad. That's what they do. They go on suicide
Right,
mission.
right, and they're expendable, right? And
Right.
she knows that, and they know that. They know they're
They know that
expendable,
they're expendable.
but
That's the
they're not
whole
going on an expendable mission. Like that's where it all collides. Like
that's what
there's
they're saying they're
Suicide
done. They
Squad,
say, "We're not doing
right?
that no more." Okay.
Right. They're like, look, we're Suicide Squad, but we're not going. Hey, hey, man, but we're not going on a suicide mission.
That's man,
And
they're sissies now.
right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so go get Suicide Squad 9.
Mhm.
Pick up Green Lantern #8.
Since we were talking about DC and kinda Marvel, like, with the, Marvel characters that, are inspired by Batman and stuff, uh, I wanna talk about this too. This says Superman believes the Avengers are murderers. So now Superman is having his opinions about Marvel characters. Now, it says he's right. The Man of Steel's morality makes him stand out among, from other superheroes, so his perspective on the Marvel universe is worth considering. According to a new comic, Superman thinks the Avengers are murderers. The Man of Steel's morality makes him stand out. That's what I just said. It can feel awkward when Earth's protectors display such a disregard for life. In the DC universe, many heroes have opposed to killing and consistently affirm the value of life, regardless of whether someone is a force for good or evil. Although Wonder Woman's training on Themyscira prepared her to slay her enemies with a sword, Batman has kept himself from taking the lives of criminals in Gotham City. Similarly, Superman chooses to represent the best of humanity and treat every person according to their inherent dignity. With Captain America's background as a soldier and Thor's close relationship with war, the Avengers tend to be less soft. Superman brings attention to this distinction between his superhero philosophy and the Avengers mentality in Batman Superman, the comic Authority Special #1, written by Philip Kennedy and Kennedy Johnson, art by Ben Temple Smith and Trevor Hairzine. But I had never heard of that. But yeah, this is just pretty interesting. I didn't know that they were crossing publishers like that in this new comic. So Superman's actually talking about the Avengers. I think that's pretty interesting. That's crazy. But yeah,
Yeah,
that's one to grow on, man, one to go on, and just one, you guys can tuck it in your pocket and think about it later. This is Sixth Element of Hip Hop. Today was DC Day. I am Reno Noir, your host, and your co-host is,
Stu Dog,
and you can find us on Instagram. I am at sixth_element_comics, and Stu is at
Infinity Man with an E on Instagram.
Infinity Man with an E on Instagram. So check us out over there. Shout out to the Madmen of Comics, guys. For those who don't know yet, we are giving away a massive amount of comics right now. It's almost 200 comics. It's a short box, which is like 150 plus. plus an extra stack, plus 5 slabs. We're giving all of this away December 4th to our customers. All right. We're going to do a drawing for all of our customers. Anybody that spends $50 on comics, buys comics from us, and you spend at least $50, you get your name on the wheel. Every $50 you spend, you get another spot or name on the wheel. December 4th, we spin it, and there'll be 3 winners. There'll be a grand prize winner, which is going to get the short box full of, and this is not no dollar bin comics, guys. These are signed books, virgin variants. I mean, premium books. And this thing's definitely pushing the $2,000 in value mark. And then and a couple of slabs. So you'll win the short box, a few slabs. Then the second, we'll spin it again. The second winner is going to get a couple of a few slabs, like some slab stands, and then we'll spin it again. And the third winner will also get a slab or 2 and some slab stands as well. So 3 chances to win. You can buy as many comics as you want. We got people with a lot of spots right now. So definitely check us out on Instagram. Every $50 you spend on comics gets you a spot on the wheel. December 4th, we're going to spin it. Monday, we will be back, guys. All right, big show we got coming Monday. Stu and I are going to sit down and talk with some of the leading women in the comic book selling or collecting industry. All right, like Sammy from Skeleton Key, Danielle from Nerdy Girl. We got Amber from Creamer and Cash. A few different women that are collecting and or selling comics, and we want to talk to them. We want to know, what is it like being a woman in this male-dominated, historically male, hobby / business, and we want to talk to them about it, see, what, their experiences and all of that. We're just going to talk about it, celebrate the women of comics this Monday. That's November 22nd, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Do not miss it. It's gonna be lit. But that's it, man. See you guys Monday. Peace out.
Peace out.
Oh wait, you know what? We wanna do our little thing. Peace.